Napoleon Bonaparte, a man who rose from obscurity to rule an empire, yet fell from grace as quickly as he ascended. Born in Corsica, a Mediterranean island with a fiery spirit of its own, Napoleon was the second of 8 children in a family of minor nobility. His father's political connections led him to the mainland, where he was educated in France's finest schools. But it wasn't the classroom where Napoleon found his calling. It was on the battlefield. He was just a boy of 9 when he left his island home, but by the time he was 16, he was already an officer in the French army. The French Revolution, a time of chaos and upheaval, was his proving ground, and he seized every opportunity with both hands. His rapid rise through the ranks was nothing short of meteoric. From artillery lieutenant to brigadier general in just a few short years, Napoleon's name was on everyone's lips. His strategic brilliance and audacious courage set him apart in a time when France was desperate for heroes. Yet he was more than just a military genius. He was a visionary. He saw a France united, not torn apart by revolution. He saw a world where he, a mere artillery officer from Corsica, could rule an empire. And he wasn't afraid to reach for it. Napoleon's reputation grew with every victory, with every enemy defeated. His ambition knew no bounds, and neither did his dreams. He was the embodiment of the saying, "Fortune favors the bold." And bold he was, unafraid to challenge the status quo, unafraid to challenge the world. In a world turned upside down, Napoleon was the comet that lit up the sky, and France was only the beginning. Napoleon Bonaparte, the man who made Europe tremble, the architect of a new world order. Let's dive into the era that saw Napoleon emerge as one of history's most formidable conquerors. As he ascended to the helm of French power, Napoleon embarked on an ambitious journey of military conquest. His campaigns spanned the length and breadth of Europe, from the sun-drenched plains of Italy to the icy expanses of Russia. His strategic genius was unparalleled, his military tactics innovative, and his courage unyielding. Napoleon's armies swept across the continent like a tempest, conquering kingdoms and duchies and toppling centuries-old dynasties. His victories at Austerlitz, Jena, Auerstedt, and Wagram are etched in the annals of military history, testaments to his prowess on the battlefield. But Napoleon was not just a warrior, he was a visionary, a statesman who dreamt of a unified Europe under French rule. He established the French Empire, a vast realm that at its zenith stretched from Spain in the west to the borders of Russia in the east. He introduced the Napoleonic Code, a set of legal reforms that revolutionized civil law and are still influential today. Napoleon's influence on European politics was profound. He redrew the political map of the continent, dismantling the Holy Roman Empire and creating a host of satellite states. His domination was so extensive that for over a decade, Europe was essentially under French hegemony. Yet Napoleon's reign was not without its challenges. His aggressive expansion provoked a coalition of European powers determined to curtail his ambitions. And within his empire, the seeds of discontent were beginning to sprout, as the burden of war and the demands of occupation started to take their toll. But even as Napoleon reshaped the continent, the seeds of his downfall were being sown. As we move to the next chapter, we'll explore how the tides of fortune began to turn against this once invincible conqueror. But that's a story for another scene. For now, let's marvel at the audacity and genius of Napoleon Bonaparte, the man who dared to dream of a new world order. At the height of his power, Napoleon Bonaparte was invincible, but every empire has its limits. Imagine being on top of the world, victorious in battle after battle, ruling an empire that stretched across Europe. This was the reality for Napoleon Bonaparte, the Emperor of France, and one of the most influential figures in history. But as they say, the higher one climbs, the harder one falls. In Napoleon's case, the fall began with a disastrous campaign in Russia. It was the year 1812, and Napoleon, in his hubris, decided to invade Russia. But the Russian winter was a formidable opponent, even for the great general. The cold, coupled with a scorched earth strategy by the Russians, led to the loss of over 500,000 of Napoleon's men. This was the beginning of the end. But it wasn't just the Russian winter that led to Napoleon's downfall. Back home in Europe, seeds of nationalism were sprouting. The people of Europe, once subdued by Napoleon's armies, were beginning to rise against French rule. His empire, stretched thin and weakened by war, was beginning to crumble. Then came the Battle of Waterloo in 1815. Napoleon, despite his military genius, was defeated by a coalition of European forces led by the Duke of Wellington. It was a crushing defeat marking the end of Napoleon's reign. He was captured and exiled to the remote island of St. Helena, where he would spend the rest of his days. Exiled and defeated, Napoleon's reign had come to an end. But his legend was just beginning. Even in downfall, Napoleon Bonaparte left a lasting legacy, influencing the course of history. But that, dear listeners, is a story for another time. Napoleon Bonaparte, a name that echoes through history, a man who left an indelible mark on the world. As we delve into his legacy, we see the enormous impact he had, not only on the political landscape of Europe, but also on the very fabric of French society and military strategy worldwide. The political map of Europe transformed under Napoleon's reign. His military conquests reshaped boundaries, and his administrative reforms gave birth to a new kind of governance. Many of the nations he conquered adopted the Napoleonic Code, a comprehensive set of civil laws that greatly influenced the legal systems of many countries even to this day. In France, his legacy is perhaps most evident. His influence stretched beyond the battlefield and into the very heart of French society. He modernized the French education system, laying the foundation for public education. He also established the Bank of France, which still serves as the country's central bank. But Napoleon's legacy wasn't confined to political and societal changes. His influence on military strategy was monumental. His innovative use of artillery, his flexible tactics that allowed for rapid movement, and his ability to inspire his troops revolutionized warfare. Many of his strategies are still taught in military academies around the world today, yet it's also important to remember the darker side of his legacy. His quest for power led to years of war, causing immense suffering. His disregard for the cost of human life in pursuit of his ambitions serves as a sobering reminder of the perils of unchecked power. Napoleon Bonaparte was a complex figure, a man of immense ambition and undeniable genius, yet also a man capable of great ruthlessness. His legacy is a mix of progress and pain, of innovation and destruction, a testament to the profound impact one man can have on the course of history. Napoleon Bonaparte, a man of his time, yet a figure for all ages. His story is a testament to the power of ambition, the allure of power, and the fragility of empires. His legacy continues to shape our world, reminding us of the extraordinary capacity of individuals to change the world for better or for worse. In the end, Napoleon Bonaparte was a man of contradictions, a revolutionary and a tyrant, a liberator and a conqueror. There's something about the life of Napoleon that draws us in, compels us to understand. He was a man who rose from obscurity to become one of the most powerful figures in history. His military genius and political acumen propelled him to the heights of power, but his hubris led to his downfall. And yet, despite his eventual defeat and exile, Napoleon's influence endures. From his early days as a revolutionary to his reign as an emperor, Napoleon reshaped the world in his image. He introduced a series of reforms that revolutionized the French legal system and administration, many of which still have a profound impact on French society today. His military campaigns, while marked by both triumphs and failures, changed the course of European history and left an indelible mark on the landscape of warfare. Napoleon's story is a testament to the power of ambition and the human spirit. It's a reminder of the heights we can reach, but also the pitfalls that can come with unchecked power and ego. But Napoleon was more than just a historical figure. He was a human being with his own dreams, fears, and flaws. His life, in all its grandeur and tragedy, is a mirror into our own human condition. His story is our story. That's why it's so important to keep exploring, keep learning about our past, because in understanding the lives of those who came before us, we gain insight into our own lives, our own potential. We see the echoes of their triumphs and failures in our own experiences. So if you're intrigued by the fascinating complexities of history, eager to delve into the stories of the past, then this is the place for you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more captivating insights into our shared history. Napoleon Bonaparte, a figure larger than life. His story is our story, a tale of ambition, power, and the human spirit. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and remember to subscribe for more fascinating glimpses into our shared past.